In the icy expanses of the Barents Sea, where the Northern Fleet patrols the frontiers of a resurgent Russia, a new chapter in naval power is quietly taking shape. Amid ongoing global tensions and the demands of a high-intensity conflict environment in 2026, the Russian Navy stands at the threshold of a nuclear renaissance. At the heart of this revival lies Project 23560, the Leader-class destroyer, often envisioned in lighter, more agile configurations as the Leader Light. This nuclear-powered behemoth promises to redefine blue water capabilities, offering unmatched endurance, firepower, and strategic flexibility in an era where sustained presence and multi-domain dominance are paramount. Captain Alexei Volkov stood on the bridge of the modernized Kirov-class Admiral Nakhimov, watching the Arctic horizon. The ship's nuclear heart thrummed reliably, a legacy of Soviet engineering that had proven its worth in long deployments. Yet Volkov knew the fleet needed more than refits. It needed successors that could operate independently for months, shrug off threats from hypersonic missiles and swarming drones, and project power across the Pacific, Atlantic, and Arctic without the constant tether of replenishment ships. The Leader Light was the answer, a vessel designed not just to fight, but to dominate vast oceans in Russia's renewed push for a versatile, forward-deployed navy. Displacing approximately 19,000 tons, stretching 230 meters in length with a 20-meter beam, the Leader class represents a quantum leap. Its nuclear propulsion plant, drawing on proven Russian reactor technology refined from icebreakers and submarines, grants effectively unlimited range. Speed reaches 32 knots, while autonomy extends to 90 days limited only by food and stores, not fuel. In current realities, where Western sanctions strain logistics and Russia's Arctic ambitions demand year-round operations, this is transformative. Conventional destroyers and frigates require frequent refueling, exposing them to submarine or air threats during vulnerable tanker rendezvous. A nuclear Leader Light could shadow enemy carrier groups across the Pacific for weeks, loiter in contested waters near the Kurils or North Atlantic, or surge into the Mediterranean without pause. It frees logistical assets for other missions, a critical pro in a navy balancing submarine production, Black Sea operations, and Arctic patrols. The Light variant emphasizes efficiency. Refined stealth shaping reduces radar cross-section, modular systems allow upgrades, and a hybrid design balances size with buildability at yards like Severnaya Verf. This makes series production more feasible amid economic pressures, positioning Russia to field multiple hulls that multiply fleet effectiveness. The Leader Light's strength lies in its arsenal. Up to 64 universal VLS cells in 3 S-14 launchers fire caliber cruise missiles for land attack, Onyx supersonic anti-ship missiles, and the game-changing 3 M22 Zircon hypersonic missiles. Additional cells support a navalized S-500 Prometee system, capable of engaging ballistic missiles, hypersonics, and aircraft at ranges up to 600 to 800 kilometers and altitudes of 200 kilometers, alongside Reddit SAMs and Panzer M close-in defense. Anti-submarine warfare integrates Packet NK torpedoes, Ka-27 30 helicopters from a spacious flight deck, and dedicated missile systems. Guns and electronic warfare suites round out layered defenses. This triple-hatted capability, as destroyer, cruiser, and large ASW ship, allows one Leader Light to replace the roles of multiple aging Soviet-era vessels like Sovremeny or Udaloy classes. In today's hybrid warfare, where drones, submarines, and long-range strikes dominate, this integrated firepower provides decisive advantages. A single ship could launch saturation attacks on surface groups, provide area air defense for a task force, hunt submarines in the GI-UK gap, or strike inland targets deep in theater. For Russia, facing NATO expansion and Indo-Pacific rivalries, this means credible deterrence and power projection without relying solely on submarines or smaller corvettes. Building the Leader Light aligns perfectly with Russia's current strategic posture. First, it revitalizes the surface fleet, long overshadowed by submarine priorities. Nuclear propulsion echoes the successful Kirov modernizations, proving Russia retains world-class expertise in naval reactors, expertise that also bolsters civilian nuclear icebreaker fleets opening the Northern Sea route. Second, economic and industrial benefits. The project stimulates shipbuilding, reactor manufacturing, and missile industries. Estimated costs around 100 billion rubles per hull, pre-inflation, represent investment in sovereign capabilities, reducing import dependence and creating high-tech jobs. Modular design and domestic supply chains enhance resilience against sanctions. Third, geopolitical leverage. In a multipolar world, a fleet of nuclear destroyers signals Russia's return as a global naval power. They escort carrier ambitions, if realized, protect SSBN bastions, and enable independent operations in distant waters, vital for alliances, shows of force, or protecting economic interests like energy exports. The Arctic gains a true enforcer, securing routes amid melting ice and competition. Finally, technological spin-offs. Advances in stealth, radar, integrated air, surface search, command systems, and power generation feed into other platforms. The S-500 naval variant elevates fleet air defense, countering threats like Western stealth aircraft or future hypersonics. Critics note past delays. Suspended in 2020 but reaffirmed under development as of 2025 by naval leadership. Yet in 2026, with renewed focus on conventional modernization amid protracted conflicts, the timing feels right. Smaller, light iterations could accelerate entry into service, building on Gorshkov-class successes. As Captain Volkov imagined future commands, he saw squadrons of leader light ships slicing through gray seas, their reactors humming with inexhaustible power, VLS cells ready. Russia's nuclear renaissance isn't nostalgia, it's necessity. In an uncertain world, these destroyers would grant the Navy what it craves most: presence without vulnerability, firepower without compromise, and the ability to project strength wherever national interests demand. The leader light wouldn't just be a ship, it would be the steel backbone of a Navy reborn, ready for the challenges of the 21st century's great power competition. With construction momentum building, the horizon looks brighter, and far more formidable, for the Russian fleet.